Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Dr. Gitanjali Parekh and my today's topic is on anxiety disorders. Well, there had been many videos on the YouTube and they describe anxiety disorder and generalized anxiety disorder to be same. However, there is a lot of difference. So in coming videos, I will be describing about anxiety disorders and also about generalized anxiety disorder. That what's actually is the difference between the two. So let's start with the anxiety disorder today. So this anxiety disorder, let me ask you a few questions so that it will just help you out in understanding anxiety disorder in a much better way. So are you finding yourself to avoid certain situations in your life? Or are you plagued by certain fears that appear constantly in your mind and that you know they are irrational? Or is your anxiety so extreme or intense that it's starting to interfere in your personal, social, or the relationship with others, or your performance is being hampered? Or are you constantly feeling jittery, tense, or in worrying, or excessively on the smallest of things you get tense or stressed up? Or are you experiencing bouts of panic in the normal situation like stomach, etc., or which might be with or without the symptoms like palpitation and excessive sweating, etc. So if you have answered yes to any of these questions, then definitely you might be suffering from what is called as anxiety disorder. So I don't think so anyone needs much of an explanation like what does anxiety or something like that, because everyone has experienced or is experiencing anxiety at one time or the other. So it could be anywhere. If you're going for an interview, or you have a class test, or meeting your friends, girlfriends and boyfriends, etc., for the first time, then you must have come across what is we all feel as anxiety disorder. You can say it's a state of tension and apprehension that is a natural response to perceived threat. Right. So at times we may feel anxiety to avoid making eye contact, or talking with someone, what we also refer as shyness. So that shyness could also be the result of anxiety disorder. I think that only a few have it, but it's a universal phenomenon and it's a normal emotion. Now it is necessary and it is adaptive in response. Means it helps an organism to adapt to the stressful situations. Now it is associated with the activation of the sympathetic nervous system, right? Which in turn activates the physiological and the emotional responses, or you can say the behavioral responses in the body, and now which helps us to protect in the fortunately for many of us, our uneasiness is not intense and persistent. Means it's short-lived and it becomes so like if you say it is persistent, if someone says it's persistent in them, then definitely it might be because of one or the other anxiety disorder. Now it's marked by distressing persistent anxiety or dysfunctional anxiety reducing behavior. So say it might be causing certain anxiety symptoms in you, and you prefer certain aspects of your behavior which helps in reducing your anxiety. So in anxiety disorder, the intensity of anxiety response are actually out of proportion to what triggers the anxiety in you. See, and the anxiety, it interferes in your relationship, in your daily working situation and things like that. So but you can say so that such anxiety, it is more debilitating in nature, right? Means to say every year millions of people they suffer from this anxiety disorder, which are psychological disturbances marked by irrational fear, often of everyday objects and situations. if you have to ask me the difference between the fear and anxiety, then anxiety is an alerting signal, fine, and it warns the individual of an impending danger, like that might be a danger which might be coming, and it enables a person to take measure to deal with that threat. Fine. While fear is something, it is similar in alerting signal, but it is there is an actual danger present behind it. Means to say there is a difference. It's just something real in nature, while anxiety, it is perceived. Right. Now we go on to the symptoms of anxiety disorder. Like what are the symptoms actually associated with anxiety disorder? They are more or less similar. Means to say the similar, it has similarity with stress. So this symptoms which are associated with stress, they are also associated with the anxiety, and many people they refer anxiety symptoms to be that of stress. And you can just classify these symptoms of anxiety into two different groups. They are physical and other is psychological. So under the physical symptoms, there are again various kinds, and we have as the motoric symptoms. First we can say, so under physical there is the motoric symptoms, and motoric symptoms we have is the tremors, to say restlessness, or you can say the muscles twitches are there, or you can say so fearful facial expression. So and next category we have is the automatic and the visceral symptoms. Now it means to associated with different organs, like you said. You can have palpitation, you can have tachycardia, sweating is there, flushes is there, dysphonia is there, and then hyperventilation is there, means you're breathing very fast, etc. You can feel the constriction in the chest, dry mouth is there, then frequency and hesitancy of micturition, that is there, dizziness one can have, diarrhea, and miraidiness. Now, as far as the psychological symptoms are concerned, they are again of different levels. First, we go on to the cognitive symptoms. Cognitive means we have as the poor concentration, distractibility, and hyperarousal is there, along with vigilance or scanning, behavior or negative automatic thoughts which comes to the mind. And then we have as the perceptual symptoms. Now under the perceptual symptoms, we have as the derealization and the depersonalization symptoms. And then we have as the affective symptoms, which affects our emotions, etc. That is diffuse, unpleasant, and vague sense of apprehension is there, fearfulness is there, inability to relax, irritability is there, then feeling of impending doom or something severe. Then the other symptoms you can say so is insomnia. Insomnia is mostly in the initial cases, and there is increased sensitivity to noise. You must have seen certain people, they what a noise is there, even at the slightest of sound. So you can say so they have those anxiety disorders. Then there is an exaggerated startle response, something noise and they just startle. So they do also have this anxiety disorder. Now in some people the symptoms described above can appear suddenly, fine, while in others they build up gradually. Means to say it is not all of a sudden, but it is more of persistent and relatively longer. So anxiety responses, you can say so, they have around 4 components, and that is a subjective emotion, then there is a cognitive component, there is a physiological responses also there, and then we have is a behavioral response. So if you have to talk about the subjective emotional component, it includes your feelings of tensions and apprehensions. And cognitive responses we have is that worrisome thoughts or sense of inability to cope that situation. Then we have is the physiological responses, and it has that increased heart rate or blood pressure, muscle twitches, the rapid breathing, nausea, dry mouth, diarrhea, then frequent micturations. They are all come under your physiological responses. And the last component, which was the behavioral responses. Now such a such people just try to avoid certain situations, like I'm just scared of it, I won't go there. This so or impaired task performance. Task performance is low in such people, right? We refer to the types of anxiety disorder. There is as such, this anxiety disorder is an umbrella term. So there are various disorders which come under this anxiety disorder as such. That's the main difference, which creates a difference between an anxiety disorder and a generalized anxiety disorder. So according to DSM-5, that is your Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, anxiety disorders, they include, first definitely a generalized anxiety disorder, second is a panic disorder, third is agoraphobia, fourth is specific phobia, you can say so, and the fifth one is social anxiety disorder. So we will just discuss briefly, not in detail, about each and every ailments coming under the anxiety disorder. And later on in detail we will be discussing these other illnesses. So let's go start with your generalized anxiety disorder. So in generalized anxiety disorder, person has an unexplainably and continually tense feeling, and uneasy, apprehensive, and is in a state of automatic nervous system, like response, right? So the person is continuing in the anxiety state. Then we have is panic disorder. In panic disorder, that differentiate between anxiety disorder and this is that in the panic disorder, the person experiences certain episodes of intense dread or terror, and accompanied by chest pain or choking or other frightening sensations are there. Then we go on to agoraphobia. Here again there is a fear or anxiety, but it's related to certain places where the individual or the client feels that the escape from this situation is difficult. Fine. And then we have is the specific phobias. Here we have a phobia related with certain thing or a situation. In social anxiety disorder or social phobia, it involves the fear of social situation as a whole, not a particular event or something. Social situations, the people have a feeling that the people around him are scrutinizing him or evaluating. Now regarding the causal factors in anxiety disorder, there are basically three factors which are associated with the anxiety disorder, and they are your biological factors, then there are your psychological factors, and thirdly we have is the environmental factors. Under biological factors, they mostly covers is your genetic factors. Here they create a vulnerability in you, in the individual, I need to say so, for the anxiety disorders. So genetically factors as such, they cause vulnerability, and which may take the form of automatic nervous system arousal that overreacts to a particular situation or perceived threat. Instead of in a relaxed state, the person, and by creating a level of physiological arousal. Now hereditary factors may also cause overreactivity of neurotransmitters, you can say so, which are involved in the emotional responses. And one such happens is the GABA chemical. Fine. So under the psychological factors, there are certain theories which explain for the anxiety disorder, and they are the psychoanalytical theory, behavioral theory is there, existential theory is there, cognitive theory is there. In the psychoanalytical theory, if you just remember, Freud said that whatever anxiety or whatever just talked about Oedipus complex, etc. I think about the little hands example, if you just remember that because of the repressed emotions, etc. Then we go on to the behavioral theory. In this behavioral theory, here comes the play of the classical conditioning theory or the observational or the operant theories. They contribute a lot. For example, a girl who was raised by an abusive father, she had the distrust for all the men. Fine. So this is how the behavioral theory has been. So learning are there. Then we have is the existential theory. According to this, people have those anxiety responses to project themselves up and to create meaning of their existence. Then we have is the cognitive theory, and according to the cognitive theorists, stress the role of maladaptive thoughts, patterns, and beliefs in the anxiety disorder. People, they have more of the negative pattern of thinking, and because of this, they react to the situation to in that dissimilar way. So the next factor is happens to be your environmental factor or the social cultural factor, and it also plays a dominant role in the development of anxiety disorder. The role of culture, you can say so, is most dramatically shown in the culture bound disorders like or in the locality itself. Like one such disorder happens from a Japanese, it's a social phobia, and another culture bound disorder is Koro, and it's found in Southeast Asian countries, and it's an anxiety disorder again. So that's the most general about what is anxiety disorder. All the other disorders, that is sub disorders of the anxiety disorder, we would be covering in the subsequent videos. It's fine. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel and like it, and if you prefer reading and doing it, I have given link to my blog also. You can go through it and